Welcome to
Gotcha.
Welcome to episode
Welcome to Late Cast.
35 of the Wheelhouse, late night edition.
Woo.
I'm Andrew O. You got Gus here, and you got Sterling over there.
Yes, indeed.
So, Gus, how was your screenwriting homework coming along? Gus, I just want to say I'm sorry for all this miscommunication about the scheduling. We're recording right now. It's 11:20 p.m. It's all my fault. I thought, we rearranged stuff. We had a midterm going on. I was stressed about that. Some miscommunication with the text, and I felt that you were going to be mad at me because you wanted to do your homework, and that we were doing the podcast later, but we were going to do it tomorrow first, but now we're doing it now.
Well, luckily, I'm not confrontational. I just hold grudges for a long
But
period
think
of time,
about
so.
back in
No problem,
my freshman year, I was only 13 years old. I didn't know anyone because I live 500 miles away, and I go into this film production class.
Is this Dean?
And I'm like, I don't know anyone here. These guys are all losers. And then what happened? You were in that class also, and then you came up to me and you were like, hey, we should be friends. And then we high-fived, and then now we're here.
It didn't quite happen like that, but then 2 years later, I found out you thought I was a loser at first.
What?
You just said that class was full of losers.
Wow.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought at first, but I was wrong.
You were wrong.
Yeah.
You were
Really uncomfortable.
That's what
You were the loser.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
If you will.
sorry now because I was wrong.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Yeah. I think it'd be better if we saw other people.
Okay.
Other podcasts.
Other
Yeah.
You're gonna start your own podcast.
No.
If you did, what would you call it?
Mortcast.
Mortcast.
Every
The
week.
Wheel Gus.
Wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse. Oh, that could work too.
All right. Well, I'm glad we had this conversation. Sterling,
Hey.
you saw my favorite movie of all time today.
Oh my God, yeah, like an hour ago.
And can you understand my pain when you hear that Gus has seen all but the last 20 minutes of the movie?
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, it's ruined for him now, because
The experience is gone, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I was watching it and I was like, I'm gonna go do something else. About 20 minutes, with 20 minutes left or so, maybe a little more. Like
The movie we're
25.
talking about, by the way, is Eternal Sunshine.
Oh, did we
of the
even say that it's
Spotless Mind.
No.
No, we didn't. We just said Andrew's favorite movie.
I just assumed y'all listening know what
Yeah.
my favorite
Eternal
movie is.
Sunshine and the Spotless Mind. Academy Award winners Jim Carrey.
Also, the name of an unreleased Smashing Pumpkins album.
Yeah, that too.
Double album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, never finished it. It's almost it was like less than a month ago. That was a jumble of words. I'm sorry, but it was like less than a month ago that I started watching it. Yeah, so
It's over.
I
There's
can return to it. I'll probably get a little bit out of it. I mean, I wasn't even like that engaged. I liked some of the things they were like doing, but like story wise,
If you do go back, start from the beginning.
I might
Watch it in one sitting without looking at your phone, without doing screenwriting homework. Just focus. Is that important?
It's that important.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was moved
Yeah.
almost to tears.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
this isn't 25 years or older, so I can't possibly like it.
Oh, no.
It has to
Not
be
a classic.
Yeah, I only like classics. So
Well, none of the stuff we're talking about are classics.
that's a lie.
Only 90s kids will remember. Because,
no one will remember.
all this stuff is I just realized,
Yeah,
a lot of it's
it's all
late
really
90s
close.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
So we're going from when we're
We're
kids.
talking about stuff, which is funny how that kind of worked out.
I feel bad because I was thinking about it. The one I picked was not from when, like, your guys', I imagine you were like 5 at least when you...
No, it came out in 2000, and I was probably like 6 or 7 by the time I played it, which was 2001.
Yeah, so I was 14 when I engaged with my nostalgia.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that. I was like, why didn't I recommend like Land Before Time or the Rugrats movie or something, But yeah,
I mean,
so I
whatever.
apologize for that.
I mean,
Fine.
if you feel, that
Nostalgic.
nostalgic.
I guess I get to decide
tug.
that, don't I? I guess I do.
In your heart and arteries, then
It counts.
it
Yeah.
counts. Yeah.
Yes. So today we are reviewing stuff we are nostalgia for, stuff that we recommended
nostalgia
to
for?
Stuff that we are nostalgia for. I'm
late
very
night
nostalgia
show
right now.
Late night show.
Woo! I hope you guys are
It's
ready
not
for a
even that
12-hour
late.
marathon
It's
Wheelhouse
11:23
episode.
right
It's
now.
past my
We're
bedtime.
Pulling an all-nighter just for this episode.
Yeah.
Gus, I know it's not late for you,
It's not late for me, no.
but it's late for me. But yeah, we will be reviewing things we're nostalgic
Was that a slant against me? Are you trying to insinuate something? Like it's a bad thing that it's not late for me?
Gus, why are you getting so defensive?
I thought I
don't want to start shit right in the middle.
I thought we
of this,
healed over all our wounds.
No.
No? Okay.
No. Anyway, continue.
Normally, we would sit down and recommend to each other things that the others have not experienced. And then that week, we go out, review those things, come back. It could be an album or a video game or a movie or, a graphic novel or stuff we haven't even done yet, like a play or porn.
Please,
yeah, that's a good one.
Or a porn play.
I might do some research on that tonight.
Or a porn audiobook.
Remember how Helen's mom watched it?
Oh, shit.
Okay. Today, we are not talking about porn. We are speaking of porn, the first thing we're talking about is what Sterling recommended.
Nice.
It's not actually porn.
And now I understand why.
I'm
you
nostalgic
said that.
for I was 14.
You were 14. The cover art really grabbed my attention.
Yeah, I had no idea who Blink-182 was. Just saw the album. I'm sure that happened to a lot of people actually in 1999. Like they're like, oh,
Maybe.
this is like at every CD store in the country.
Considering how like
I'm gonna buy it.
popular YouTube videos always have like thumbnails with with
clickbait.
like
This is the original
cleavage or
clickbait.
something.
This is the clickbait of album covers.
yeah.
And it worked.
Like you won't believe what happens next.
And that's Enema of the State.
Yes, Enema of the State, the third album by Blink-182. That's with the lowercase b. Released on June 1st, 1999. It was the first Blink album to feature drummer Travis Barker. And then rounding out the trio, you got Mark Hoppus on bass and Tom DeLonge on guitar. And both Mark and Tom write the songs and take turns with lead vocals. Now, I realized that there was actually one song on this album that I had heard before. It was actually all the small things.
No way.
Only
Yes.
one?
I realized,
Really?
yeah. And you know why? I heard it in middle school, and at that time, I knew nothing about music. The only experience I had with music was from elementary school. Was the Black Eyed Peas that they blasted during PE. And at the time, there was nowhere for me to learn about music except by what my friends were listening to, and I had some friend groups who were listening to Blink-182, Rise Against.
Rise Against.
Avenged Sevenfold. And what I would do, because I want to be hip with the kids, and I would just YouTube the name of that band.
Yeah.
And just watch the lyric video with the most views, and this was one of the songs.
You got to be hip with the kids.
I know. So that's how I found out about it in middle school, ironically enough. You had known Blink-182 before, or was this the very first?
Yeah, I'd never listened to a full album.
Yeah.
And I just knew just among the people that I was associating with and the music that I've been listening to, that this is a name that popped up all the time. And I was like, I had heard all the small things. And I was like, oh, I heard this when I was a kid, on the radio, stuff like that. And this is my first foray into listening to an entire album by the band.
Gus, how about you? What's your history with the Blink?
I remember being 10 years old and knowing all the small things. But I didn't know Blink-182.
Wait, how did you know you were 10?
Because it was in 4th grade.
How did you? Okay.
Then I turned 10 in 4th grade. So I just specifically remember that. I remember singing it in class one time. Anyway. Yeah.
Wait, you can't just glance over that. Was it
sounds like a pretty...
Was it in middle of a test, everyone's quiet, and you start singing to yourself, or was
Why
it
would I do that?
Was it show and tell, and you're like, oh,
No,
look at
it
It was like a science project, you got to sing about volcanoes.
It was I think it was before classes started, or maybe it was just in between I don't know, between a teacher changing subjects or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just talking to people with my at the table. Yeah, and then I started singing the chorus part. Yeah.
Your whole class started joining.
No.
If only.
It's a pretty uneventful story. That was it.
Okay.
I love that.
Nothing happened.
That was so worth it.
I didn't have people go, whoa, listen to that guy.
I want to be hip with the kids.
Is he in a band? No. So I knew that song, but other than that, I didn't really know who they were until middle school as well, because I knew people who went to their concert. And so I feel like they had almost a second win. I guess because they rejoined.
Yeah. They
in
they had a
late
big falling out.
2000s. And so, and then I knew one-off hits and everything from then on out. I liked "Damn It." Oh, there's a period where I was I was into like Fall Out Boy a little bit and everything like that.
Oh yeah, me too.
And so
It's just a phase.
it's just a phase.
That's what they tell you.
And then so I found similar music, I guess. So I listened to some of Blink-182's hit songs, like Damn It and whatnot. So yeah.
But how do you feel about them now after having listened to Enema of the State?
Well, I had already listened to like half the album before.
Oh, I thought you said like period.
No.
Like, you only listened to one half.
I guess we don't.
Unlike the movie, somehow this episode I've had my foot in all three of these things.
Gross.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say coming away from this album, I like it more than when I listened to it halfway through. So that's a plus. Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid a solid release in the pop punk genre. Something that I usually don't venture into too often. But yeah, it's a fun record. I do have things that like not me a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Urkia.
Yeah, we'll get to those in a second. What about you?
Yeah, Andrew. What about you?
Like the liquid that an enema shoots in your butthole. I was very lukewarm about this album.
Dang.
But let's start with some good things. You mentioned some.
Go crazy.
I love the energy, high octane energy. Always the tempo super fast all the time. I think I read something about one of the songs. I forget what it is, but they didn't play it live for a long time because it was so fast that they really had a hard time doing it live.
What song?
It's probably the party song.
Actually, that might be it. And I read it on Genius, which is right here, so we can pull it up.
I guess.
Fastest song. It was so fast, it was never performed live until they managed to pull it off.
I guess with like the lyrics along.
Did you hear the fun whisper at the beginning? It's great.
I thought you were gonna whisper it now.
Oh no, I was gonna let you continue.
Okay. In that same vein, I love Travis Barker's drumming.
Oh my god, yeah.
Fantastic.
He made the band.
Yeah.
He's a pretty revered drummer.
Yeah.
In and of his,
It's just
himself. So
talking about how like relentless the tempo is. His drumming's relentless, but also very nuanced at the same time.
I like his drumming a lot, and I like Tom's guitar tone a lot on this album.
Oh yeah.
There are some times when he's just jangling along. It sounds
Like
great.
everyone in the world, just like with like kids, they're just like, oh my god, I want to make that. I want to play that guitar tone. Like, what does that sound?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Also, the song structure, they are very structured and very polished as well, which some people complain about. How the production is too squeaky clean.
Sheeny, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I actually don't think it's too like overproduced for this album. This is a couple years before that started being like a real problem in rock music. So I think it actually works out pretty.
Yeah, and going into it knowing it's pop punk, it just for me it felt like it fit with the genre how it sounds.
This ain't indie rock.
Yeah.
No way.
Some meh things.
Hit me.
The vocals.
Is
Gus,
it
do you have
Tom?
anything about the vocals?
So
So it took me a while to realize that there was two different singers because I'm
really?
stupid. Yeah.
When I was younger, I had that same issue. But I saw the videos and I was like, oh my god, what the heck?
When I was 20 years old and I figured out more than one Beatle sang, I was like, what?
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm fine with both vocalists. I don't agree with you there. I think I like the lesser of the two. I like Tom's vocals more.
I like Tom's vocals more.
I like Mark's more.
Yeah.
I used to like Tom's more just because it was so like nasally and he sounded so angry and I was like, oh, he's so punk, like he's
like
so cool.
me.
But then I realized, like me. But then I realized I was like, oh, I like Mark better because it sounds like he's not trying as hard, you know. So that really, and same with his I don't know. I like Mark's just approach to the songs better than Tom's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
For me, like a lot of times, Mark comes off as, I guess, the more reserved of the three.
I guess.
Like vocally, like
definitely on record.
Yeah, I mean, he does do like parties, doesn't he? Do party songs?
Yeah, peace party songs.
I mean, that's the fastest one, I guess. Mm-hmm. But so like in terms of the vocals, I feel like Tom's are just like more exciting, and so it fits a little better sometimes.
True.
Andrew,
I do like Tom more than Mark, but in general, I definitely like the first like couple times listening. I just felt like both of them had a little bit like some of that slimy sleaziness, like dude bro kind of thing going on.
Yeah, it's a dude bro album.
You
it
know?
really is.
Oh, it is. That was actually one of my negatives.
And that might link to what you're talking about are the lyrical content, what they're talking about, like themes and stuff.
That's even for me, that's a negative.
Okay.
If we're talking about if the issues is what I mean, more so than like quality of content.
It's just like they come on. I mean, a lot of these songs I wouldn't even call them love songs. It's more like jilted lover type deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of times it just comes off as like really unsympathetic and whiny.
Yeah. Whiny's a good word.
Just pull up a lyric from the first song, Dump Weed.
Oh yeah. No, this made me laugh. It was just like
it's almost, I don't want to use the S word, but sexist.
I would say in the social climate of today, Enema of the State might be considered a sexist album.
The album cover too, fucking porn star.
Well, I mean, she's a porn star. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, there's some interesting lines like "Dump Weed," which is an interesting song title.
So that's one thing I like about Tom. The way he writes lyrics is really weird, or like the approach to like maybe it's because he's uneducated. That might be it. But like you read some of them, it's like, oh, I've never heard someone say something in that way. You know what I mean?
He does come off as a more like, at least the songs he sings on. I don't know. I guess like lyrically, like do they write their own lyrics to what they sing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would say Tom's a more interesting lyricist than Mark. But yeah, so like off the first track there, like a part of the chorus is I need a girl that I can train.
Yeah, that's the sexism that we're talking about.
Yeah, one of my least favorite songs is Dysentery Gary. It's just
that name's so funny though.
The name is funny, but the song, it just comes off as like a nice guy type deal. It doesn't need. Oh no, in the Genius thing. Wait, isn't it? Oh. Where is it?
This sleazeball Gary guy.
Oh, there. Tom also addresses every guy's biggest problem with girls. They always pick the douchebag. Always. Tom is obviously better than this lowlife Gary, but
I think Tom actually wrote this annotation. Yeah.
Always.
Recently.
You scroll down. My favorite lyric of this song at the very bottom. Where is it? Oh, there. I hate you all. Your mom's a whore.
Oh, yes. That part made me cringe, too.
I like that.
Where's my dog?
You like that part?
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
This part, this part. It
Girls
takes me
are
back.
such a drag.
It's such like a.
that's the cringe part of the song for me. Is that part, but
that's like middle school shit. Like in middle school, I would have been like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, man. Yeah. That's kind of cringy. Like another one of my least favorite songs happens to be the party song, which we've been talking about.
That's
party song. That might be another one of the sexist ones.
Maybe they haven't played it. I mean, they didn't play it live for so long because it's just not a good song. I guess like I liked what they were going for with the like. I mean, it's abundant on lyrics,
like the rhythm of the verse.
Yeah, I guess
like,
it's like fun. Yeah. It's like it's rap god, pop punk rap god.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, for me it was just, like some of the I guess jilted lover type songs I could get behind more easily. Like even though Dumpweed had those ridiculous lyrics, I still find like musically.
Yeah,
Dumpweed's one of my favorites.
Even Dysentery Gary, I like the instrumentals a lot.
I like some of the parts.
Like the backbeat thing is really interesting that the drums do on Dysentery Gary.
Yeah. But then there are songs like the party song, and then it's just like, especially like so late in the album. At that point, I was just like, I was so tired of the, like, I'm the one being wronged here type deal. And it's just like, whatever. If it was like one or two songs, I would be fine with it. But it does it a little too often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like the main general complaint I have with the album is that there's nothing surprising, knowing like it's a pop punk thing. Like, yeah, thematically it's kind of typical. Like the melodies are kind of monotone, in that sort of similar way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And also like the double tracking vocals and like the vocal harmonies come all in the same places in the chorus. Like it's all like expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again, instrumentally it's solid, but it didn't have like, there's no song on here that like kind of blew my mind. which is good to have on an album, but not this one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Brutal. I
Harsher
guess
than I
because I
expected.
had some experience with some of these songs before. And I walk away still liking the ones I liked before. I obviously liked All the Small Things. I think
Going Away
that's
to College. Is that your favorite?
I'd probably just say All the Small Things is my favorite.
Whoa.
I don't like that song.
But
That's one of
Going
the
Away
one
to
I love.
College, I like a lot. As I said before, Dumpweed's good. Adam's Song is good.
Yeah.
I came away liking Mutt. I thought Mutt was a good song. Those are probably my like personal highlights. Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, All the Small Things. Yeah, I guess it's like an overplayed song or whatever, but I think it's
Well, it's
It's a
not
good
even.
song.
I think it's a pretty solid, pop rock.
Nah,
type
I don't
deal.
like it.
Well,
Damn.
okay.
It's boring.
What's your favorite song?
Oh yeah.
You want to guess?
My guess was Going Away to College.
Mine is going to be. Actually, there's one thing I wanted to say about Going Away to College after this, but
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking at it in my notes right now. It's got a little starry next to it.
If I was Andrew, I would probably like Wendy Clear.
You're close. It's Anthem.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I wasn't gonna say that because it was like it's probably not Anthem.
Yeah, I was
Anthem's
just
my
thinking that.
Anthem's my second least favorite song.
What? Oh, you should have done the Rives rule.
I know.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I knew it wasn't
I
Dysentery
guess that was
Gary.
the second guess. So
Oh.
Yeah.
It still rings true.
Yeah, Anthem I thought was pretty lame closer.
Well,
It wasn't. I didn't like
who
despise.
cares
it.
if it's a lame closer? I think it's
What?
a great song.
I mean, but that's why I think it's a lame closer because I
All
don't
right.
think it's a great song.
All right.
Wait. What are your favorites? Least favorites?
I actually don't know. That's really tough. Dumpweed has always been really just like an important song to me.
I like
thought it was
Dumpweed a lot.
Like the guitar
Yeah.
is so awesome and so fun.
You relate. You get Dumpweed all the time.
Yeah. No, I was like, I relate to these lyrics.
Yeah.
No, I love Adam's Song and What's My Age Again. Those songs are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Anthem, too. For me, like, first time listening to this album, and this goes along with the thing you were saying kind of about, like, a lack of surprise.
Yeah.
I imagine that if I'd, like, me with what music experience I have now, and if this came out in 2016, or I'd never heard it before and I picked it up, I'd be like, I've heard all of this before. Like, it's fun, but this is exactly what I would expect, For me, having not expected it, first time I listened to it, this is where that nostalgia comes in. I was like, oh my God, like I've never heard anything like this before.
Yeah.
And that's why I say also Anthem is one of my favorites probably because like that song I was like, oh my God, it's so fast and it like changes rhythms all the
Yeah,
time and
yeah.
like yeah.
That's
So
cool.
fun.
Yeah, bad song. I don't like it.
Lame closer.
Closer.
What were you gonna say about Going Away to College?
Oh yeah, Going Away to College's lyrics are so lame. But
like the chorus.
Mark is the only one that did go to college,
yeah,
and he wrote this song.
he wanted to be an English teacher. Yeah.
This world's an ugly place.
Oh yeah, I
You're
love this.
so
Mark
beautiful.
allegedly wrote this song after watching Can't Hardly Wait, which sucks, on Valentine's Day, which why it's so sappy.
For Blink anyway.
Mark wrote
These
this.
Genius notes are really bad.
Yeah, I know. Specifically for this.
4
album.
contributors.
But musically, I think the song's great. I really
Yeah.
like the beginning and ending riff. I guess. That they have.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
Yeah. Is there anything?
Well, I'm done.
Is there anything else
No.
you would like to say?
Nothing I can think of.
All right.
Enema. Thanks for listening, guys.
Nostalgia expended.
Nostalgia. How do you feel?
Nostalgia expounded.
How do you feel walking away? I mean, what was? I mean, you probably.
My opinion hasn't
revisited-
changed.
Yeah, you
Really?
probably revisited this many times.
I've probably listened to this almost more than any album just because it's so short and it's such a like a familiar listen, Like it's one of those albums I can turn on and know I'll like it.
I just realized we didn't talk about fucking Aliens Exist.
Oh.
Mark's fucking favorite. I mean, not Tom's fucking favorite track because it's his.
It's about aliens.
It's his mind. The song is him.
Aliens Exist is an awesome song. Like I
It's
really
good,
like.
yeah.
I
Aliens
like.
Exist.
It's. I think it's funny.
It is, yeah.
But does he really believe he was abducted by aliens?
No one knows.
No one
one knows. You should have put some of that in the pre-show video playlist.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We have to watch some of that
blew
later.
it,
Like
man.
interviews with Tom talking about aliens. It's hilarious
Oh, wow.
and confusing at the same time.
Who-
He's an enigma of modern
Him
science.
and Dan Aykroyd, man.
Yeah, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah, but I mean that's all I wanted to say. Aliens Exist. Tom DeLonge. It's like his anthem. His anthem.
It's the anthem.
Yeah.
Oh, just kidding, anthem.
Did you
what I'm
say
talking about.
Athens?
Yes.
Well, have I got the movie for you? The next thing we're talking about is what I recommended. What I'm nostalgic for. It is
Hercules.
Hercules.
Are you an oracle? Because you read my mind.
This is not the end of the show. No puns allowed to the end of the show.
What?
It always bothered me. Hercules is what it is in Greek.
Yeah.
Hercules is Roman. But everything
I
is
mean,
Greek.
just because I heard Hercules first, I think it sounds better though.
Hercules is
too.
like a catchier name.
Hercules.
Yeah. But
Maybe we just think that.
Hercules is a Disney animated film released on June 27th, 1997. Directed by John Musker and Ron Clements, who also directed The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and the upcoming Mona. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Moana?
That's
Is the Hawaiian one, right?
Yeah, is that how you say it?
It's Moana, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
Moana. I'm sorry.
So he directed good movies, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a bunch of
interesting.
ukulele in the movie.
Oh yeah, tons. And
And Lin-Manuel Miranda.
yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing a song.
Hamilton.
Oh, he's doing the whole thing, the whole soundtrack.
I'm not sure.
All right. Anyway, in Hercules is set in the world of Greek mythology. You got Zeus, the
Who's
god.
who's a doof in this movie?
Daddy.
He's got a big old beard.
Zeus's daddy.
Yeah. Zeus and Hera, they have a baby named Hercules. But the evil Hades comes up from the underworld, saps baby Hercules of his immortality, and then drops him onto the
That's
earth.
not what he does.
Yeah, he does.
That's not what he does.
Yeah, he does.
Bottle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
gives him the bottle of the vial where you have
Yeah.
to drink every last drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And then Hercules loses his immortality. But he still possesses his super strength.
I
Because
just
he
didn't.
didn't drink
I just
every
didn't agree
drop.
with your word choice of sap. It makes it seem like he did.
It's like drained out. Okay.
for those of you who
It
haven't
was
seen the
his
movie,
plan,
he gives him a bottle.
It wasn't even
with
him.
the
It was his
juice.
henchman.
But it was his. Okay.
Pain and
Hercules grows up
something
thinking he's a
else.
normal dude, but with super strength, and then he realizes, no, I'm actually, the son of Zeus, and he has to become a true hero
Yeah.
to get his immortality back. So you remember that you got the villain Hades, ruler of the underworld. You also got Phil, who is Hercules' trainer.
It's Danny DeVito.
Danny
Yeah.
DeVito.
Push for Danny
the
DeVito.
star of the movie.
And you got Meg,
Suck
who
a
is
Pikachu.
Meg is Hercules' love interest. So I loved this movie as a kid.
Yeah.
I did as well.
I rewatched it in high school, and I didn't like
I
it
did
as
as
much.
well, and I didn't like it as much.
And I think I know why, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
And I watched it now, and I love it again.
Oh my God! No
Really?
way.
Yeah, I thought I was
No
gonna be
way.
like lukewarm or like kind of around where I was before,
Yeah.
but I'm like, no, I love it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
Is that because of nostalgia
I think
at
so. A
all?
lot of
or
it has
just-
to do with
okay,
nostalgia.
that's fair. That's
And even with nostalgia factored in, I don't think it's like a bad movie by any means, but it definitely doesn't hold I don't hold it in as high regard as I did when I was 4 years old. So
I thought
just
it
let
was
that sink in.
borderline shite.
what?
Borderline shite.
So you've never seen it before?
Never seen Hercules
Okay.
before, but everyone's
probably
like, I love
why.
Hercules. Like, watch Hercules. Maybe it's because maybe I have no attachment to it whatsoever. But we'll talk about it.
awesome, yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
No, you explain yourself right
Okay.
now.
Hercules.
Punk?
So
Hercules is.
I am a punk.
Hercules is dumb. Like the main character, he's a dingus.
He's a doof.
What?
So,
But he's a lovable
is,
doof.
So is Zeus. Zeus is dumb as well.
Zeus is a
it
dude,
his-
bro.
He's
He's cool.
What?
Yeah.
That's not cool. He's an idiot. He's the only one that doesn't hone in on
He's
the
got
fact
those
that
lightning bolts.
that Hades is a bad dude. Everyone else at the party is like, oh god, it's Hades, but Zeus is
He's
like,
giving him the benefit of the doubt, you know?
and Hades like even like passive aggressively tells Zeus like, you gave me this shitty job.
Oh, yeah.
And he's Zeus is dumb. I've been playing God of War 3 conveniently around the same time. I actually finished it yesterday.
You killed. Oh, spoilers.
Man, yeah, just watching this movie and knowing that I murdered all these people, all these gods.
All the people in the movie.
Yeah, it's just like whoa. Even
Killed you.
even Hercules,
Yeah.
even Hercules. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But anyway.
And you said you like God of War 3 more.
Oh yes, God of War 3 is one of my favorite games on the PS3.
Wow.
I love that game.
I've never played any of those games.
I'm not even like I like 1 and I'm not even a big fan of 2, but God of War 3 I think is amazing.
Yeah, Sterling, continue your.
Borderline shite.
Borderline. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So
please.
I have like two kind of main bodies of complaints, and then there's a few things that I think are so awesome about this movie, and I like just wish
It was
could overshadow all of the shite. So my big problem, my major problem is kind of the writing, I guess you would say. Like the script is really lame and really corny, and the songs are not good, except for two songs that I really like.
Yeah, the song quality varies greatly, I feel.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear Danny DeVito sing.
That was pretty
DeVito's
funny.
a shitty singer. I'm sorry. I love Danny DeVito, you know, Frank.
Yeah, I was just thinking of Frank the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much, I can't separate them, even though he's been in it so much.
What's that dumb? He says like the stupidest line in the movie. He's like, "I thought you would be total something, not a total chump," or something. That part ruined everything. Oh my god.
I thought I was training a champ, not a chump.
Oh, yeah.
I was training you to be a total champ.
No, I thought the silliest line he had was like he was showing like Hercules all the people he trained and that they all failed,
Yeah.
and he was like, "I just thought all of them could go the distance, but they couldn't." And just
And then
before,
Hercules
was like, "I just sang a song saying I can go the distance."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of times with the Disney movies that I think succeed, which is a lot of them because I really like Disney movies, but this one I could feel the Disney formula, you know?
Oh no,
Like-
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like when it's like, okay, you're
rubs
supposed to
up all
cry
against
now.
you.
The
Yeah.
music like swells and everything. I was like, I'm not supposed to notice this. Like, stop it, bad filmmakers.
Maybe it's because you're a film student.
Maybe.
No, the story.
As a kid, I wouldn't have noticed. As a kid, I wouldn't
Oh
have
yeah,
noticed.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even like, I mean, the writing might be spotty. I think there are some like funny things that they did or whatnot, and they're dumb things. I always hate when in movies they like do the stupid credit card joke. I mean, that's not even like a written like said joke, but they just like show Hercules' credit card real fast after he gets popular. But like there's some like, you know, like humor only adults would get that I never noticed as a kid.
Oh, yep.
I was surprised by how kind of like sexual this movie was.
Like right off
and
the
how
bat,
dark it was also.
I want to make sweet music with him, or yeah, it's like
yeah.
But
Speaking of
I forgot
dark,
what I was even going
the,
to say. Whatever.
What are they called? The
Muses.
the muses.
What the hell? What the? What did his transition?
I said, speaking of dark, the muses.
Wow. Okay.
That's noticeably ethnic, not in a like.
They're black.
Yeah, they're. I thought that feels kind of like a stereotype, right? Like other than like, you know, all the Greek stuff. Oh my God, Dan!
Oh my
Hey,
God, we're
You
gonna
walked
stop
in
this
right-
serious
right-
Playing
talk.
time.
another round of Can Win Win with our friend Dan, our roommate.
Dirty
We got a-
Dan.
We got a trivia question for you this week. The question is, which of these capitals is not located in South America?
You got this one. This is
Your options.
geography.
Caracas, Georgetown, San Juan, or Santiago. Please speak your answer into this microphone. Take your time.
Georgetown?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, Georgetown, here we go.
Oh no, that's that was the
trick one.
the
Yeah,
trick
the
one.
answer
Red
was
herring.
San Juan,
San Juan.
which I
Dirty
believe
Dan.
is the capital to Puerto Rico.
Dang man. Anyway, thank you, Dan. Yeah, better luck next time.
Good luck
So
next
on
time, man.
Hercules,
Dan now owes us $10 each.
I didn't know
That's
about
part
that.
of the deal.
What were you
That's a
saying?
stereotype, right?
Well, right. Oh yeah, right back
Black,
into it.
like black
What's the stereotype?
That they're like kind of a musical quartet of sorts. That's totally a stereotype, right? Like barbershop quartet type thing. Soul Sisters.
Is it a
Dream Girls.
I understand
what I
what you're
mean?
going for, but I don't understand how it's stereotypical in the placement of it in the film Hercules. There's not. I don't feel like the showgirls stereotype. Like if this was like, oh, a Princess and the Frog for the is that
That's the
right?
one.
Yeah.
you're thinking.
Yeah.
Also directed by these guys.
Oh really?
Ah.
No, that's funny. Yeah. I mean that would be stereotyping. I mean maybe it would even be apt.
I don't know. That's what I kind of felt a little bit, and I
One-
felt a
one
little
thing-
heavy-handed.
One thing I will say though, it feels weird and like out of place.
Are you saying it because of how the music is like gospel infused? Is that
well,
maybe where
that's
it's
part of
coming
it.
from?
Yeah, it's not just their appearance or anything like that.
He's mad that there's black people in this.
They're supposed to be Greek.
No blacks allowed. No, I didn't have that problem.
For me,
I love that gospel music.
Yeah.
The music is good, but that was the first thing that struck out to me. It was also the first moment in the entire film.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, like.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a
That's out of
stereotype,
place.
but I don't find it particularly like
offensive.
It's like Asians are good at math. Are you offended by that, Andrew?
No.
Yeah,
That's a stereotype.
It's
I guess.
true.
Stereotype.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's true for all Asians.
It's true for all. I mean, it's true for all Asians. That's not true. I know people who break that stereotype, but
I don't know. It bugged me.
Yeah.
Yep. So this
Sterling loves race cards.
Yes,
He collects
love them. Gotta collect them all.
All right, so that was the first one.
Oh, okay. So writing, and then I thought the animation was bizarre. So I noticed there was a kind of
some
style
weird things.
thing, right?
Yeah.
So they were trying to go for like I guess the kind of Greek like art type thing, right? With Hercules' face design, as we pointed out earlier, his nose. There's kind of this kind of flatness to it, where it looked like it was kind of like almost like a hieroglyphic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was one guy in particular that was very influential in the animation. But yeah, that was very divisive when it came out. Oh yeah, Gerald Scarf.
Is that
self-portrait?
him?
That's him in real life, actually. Yeah.
Oh wow,
That's him in real life.
Yeah, that's how he was born.
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's like kind of some flatness. It's also kind of like a little grainy and kind of like it is kind of shows simplistic in a lot of ways.
That's what I noticed right off the bat watching this time. It was like, I mean, I'm watching this. I understand this wasn't made at a time when it like HD shit or anything like that. I mean, was this? It must be computer animated because of some
The
parts.
part.
Well,
The
definitely
parts.
The
Hydra part.
Yeah,
The Hydra part.
That's
the
didn't
most
age well.
jarring one. No,
unforgivable.
I would say no. I would argue that that's one of my favorite parts of the movie because I just love how it doesn't blend. I just love how it looks. It looks awesome.
It's surprising. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, I am confused why they decided to do that. Maybe to try and wow audiences at the
Probably.
time. But yeah, it doesn't age well, but I think it's funny.
I remember this is the 1997.
Almost 20 years.
CG's
It's okay.
crawling in.
I kind of want to watch a movie that I think is good now and was good then. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Those are my like major problems with it, and they kind of overlap with smaller problems, just as everything unfolded.
Yeah.
But then I have some positives too. But
Okay.
you guys, I talk too much.
Yeah, you're talking about how the story is, well, it's like very bland, I guess. And yeah, it is super simplistic, and it follows like a formula to a T. Like I even broke it down like at the end, like if you break the film up into 30-minute chunks, like after the first 30 minutes, that's like end of Act 1. Hercules like goes off to be a hero. Like that's like exactly like the 30-minute mark, and then the end of the next 30 minutes is like Hercules loses his powers, Phil leaves, and he finds out that like Megan cheated on him.
Yeah.
That's like so obvious. Like it's just like exactly
All at the
another 30
exact same
minutes.
time, 30-minute mark. Yeah.
And then like the end of Act 3, like very like typical ending. The good wins over evil, like triumphant ending, all that sort of thing.
He became a true hero.
Yeah, and there's no surprises in the plot. But for me, that's not really so much a problem because everything else about it, I think, is just so much fun. And I have a note here. I love it now because I'm a sentimental fool. Because, yeah, I have some of that lovingness from my youthful days.
That's definitely a real thing. You know, watching Winnie the Pooh, the new one, the other day, I'd never seen that version, but just having such a personal relationship with the old Winnie the Pooh stuff, I was like, oh my God, that makes this even better, you know? But then again, you bring up something like Princess and the Frog. That movie had no attachment to it when I first saw it, you know, had no personal attachment to anything about that film. But I was like surprised by that movie. I was moved by that, like, you know, the really emotional part and all that kind of stuff. And to me, Hercules like fell flat in that way. Like there's a few laughs for me, and there's a few characters that I loved. But other than that, I was like, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch Hercules, you know?
Yeah. there's no really emotional moments because it is so predictable. There's not even really a large
It
amount
feels
of suspense.
impersonal. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I have like a lot of fun watching it because I think the characters are really fun to watch. Like, there's no suspense built up at all. There's no like huge emotional impact. But it's like, I like the mythology. I like the world. I like the characters, seeing it interact. Because there's like dozens and dozens of different references to Greek mythology.
Oh yeah, the
just
references are fun, and all the modern day twists or whatever are like entertaining.
And the pacing also is like so fast. Like, it just constantly moves. There's always something
especially
happening.
that.
I
ending
actually,
part.
I mean, usually I like that, but in this case, I almost thought it went too fast. Like things just happen in the course of a song.
Yeah,
like,
the thing I noticed the most was like when Hercules left to go train, and then he trained, and now he's like super buff.
Yep.
That happened like 5 minutes.
That's like one of those things. Like when you watch it as your kid, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
But like you watch it now, it's like it's gone.
Wow. If I mean, I may or may not have been here the whole time while you two were talking, but
you may or may not have drank an entire
did he let himself
Arizona
in?
tea before.
How'd you get into
the show.
but I believe I heard you saying that like you liked some characters and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
others. And,
There's certain characters
and
that
I agree. I think there are some like strong characters. Like I like Meg. I think Meg's great.
Meg's unique.
Hades is funny.
Hades is amazing.
Hades is my favorite character. Yeah, Hades and Phil, I think, are just like
Phil's fun.
spectacular.
No, but Hades hands down like steals the show every time he's on.
Oh my god, yeah, Hades looks badass.
Yeah.
Like that character design is so cool.
Yeah.
And he's got anger management problems, and when he gets really pissed off, he like turns red.
Yeah.
I just don't like
all
his
that
chin, but yeah, I do like the flame.
He's a
hair
great
and
like
everything
evil villain.
And the voice acting, but James
Voice acting
Woods,
is
Oh
great
my god,
too.
yeah.
James Woods so good, so expressive.
Yeah.
Character-
Hermes, am I right?
Hermes. I chopped his legs off. And God of War 3. But yeah, one of the main character problems is the title character, Hercules, which as a kid I never really cared. I thought Hercules was great. We watched a toy commercial before we started this, and I actually had some of the toys, and I was like, oh my god, I remember this. I don't even know I said that.
That's the nostalgia talking.
Yeah, but I just found Hercules' character kind of like dim-witted. Like one time Phil like tells him, use your head, kid, and he's like, okay. Then he actually uses his head. That's the joke. And I was like, wow, what an idiot.
Man, I thought he was a total champ.
I thought, yeah, but he's a total chump. So, I mean, I would almost say he's the weakest.
I would.
Maybe,
fine to
maybe
agree.
Zeus because he's the same way. I mean,
he's not even
the
in
same
it that
character.
much.
But
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
But how cool are them Titans? Am I right?
I do like the designs
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
Titans. I had a Hercules computer game as a kid.
Oh yeah.
And my favorite like game, they're like separate, just little games, in one package. But my favorite one was the Titan one, where you had to stop them from getting to the top. Yeah, that's probably like my favorite part of the movie still, because I love that watching that part over and
Assault
over.
on Olympus.
Yes, and I mean it totally mimicked what I did in God of War 3.
Yeah.
because that's essentially
Which is
the plot.
also
which is-
amazing assault on Olympus.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The same things happen in both those.
One thing I think we need to bring up are the pop culture references.
Yeah.
Which is a
credit card.
big factor of why I didn't like it when I watched it in high school. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so weird, like trying to modernize it and be all cool. It
Mm-hmm.
felt like it sort of betrayed like it sort of being sort of reverent to Greek
Mhm.
mythology. But it didn't bother me so much now. It just sort of added to a sense of fun.
I think that's kind of standard fare for like
Yeah.
children's films that take place in older time, like
Mm-hmm.
period pieces. They always kind of like add that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I agree that I was fine with it. I was fine with most of it. Like I didn't like the credit card thing, but like when she's like, when Future says that indoor plumbing is
Oh,
like,
it's gonna be a thing.
yeah, haha, whatever. So yeah, I was fine with it overall.
Or like when they go to Thebes, they like build it up as like New York.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
have Phil
yeah.
like, I'm walking here from Midnight Cowboy.
I kind of liked that.
I like
that.
it. And that was something like I did not get at all back in the day
Yeah.
that I got now. But then the whole credit card bit, that was the whole Zero to Hero montage bit.
Mm.
Which is one of my favorite songs.
It's a great song, but that was like the most pop culture like in your
Yes,
face because
yeah.
it's like commercialism, merchandise, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Air Herc, his shoes, stuff like that. And that rubbed me the wrong way back in the day. But
Yeah.
it didn't bother me as much. No. I don't know exactly why, but that's what it is.
It is what it is.
And there are jokes that I like too that I didn't get before. Like the
Even in high school.
moving on. No. Honest to Zeus, truth. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Instead of honest to God.
Honest to Zeus.
Yeah, and then someone call IXII.
Yes, that was my favorite joke of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Didn't get that before, but now I'm smarter, wiser. Got that. Gus is shaking his head without shaking his head. I
didn't
can
shake
tell.
my head.
I can tell.
I looked away. And,
Yeah, not at me. Away from me. I see.
Okay.
Yeah, animation is very basic. But there's some design I like. Like the underworld looks cool. The Titans design.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the CG is like... Gus likes it, but I think it's garbage.
No, it is. It's
Oh, okay.
garbage. But
That's
I
what I
like
like.
it.
But you like it?
Yeah.
Good garbage.
I like that kind of shit, you know. Not all the time. Sometimes it just looks so bad. Like Scorpion King, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
The Rock, right?
The Rock, yeah.
The end of this movie is really weird, right? Like, I'm not the only one who thinks that.
What?
Like,
What do you
the
mean?
whole battle at the end is really fast, and then they go
Oh,
to
yeah,
hell,
really
and
fast.
Hercules is like, I'm going to get Meg back, dives into the pool of souls,
Yeah.
ages of like a million
I remember
years.
the perk creeped me out as a kid.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
yeah.
thought it was weird. I was like, oh my God, I thought the movie was over. Like, I was like, oh God,
He
he's going to
dies.
die.
Well, that's the way it does
Oh,
get dark because
shit.
Meg like does die.
Yeah, Meg
You know?
dies. She pulls like an Ash in Pokemon the first movie, you know?
You realize that there's like decapitation in this movie. Drowning, he that centaur thing, he just knocks it out and leaves it to drown.
Oh, the River Guardian.
Yeah. I mean, this is a violent
That guy looked
movie. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. that
Yeah.
Meg
Hercules
died.
is bruised too, that one part.
Oh yeah, he
Pretty
looks
crazy.
I said he looked like a heroin addict to Andrew, like Train Spotting. But yeah, I think the end is pretty cool. When he's swimming through the what
Souls.
Styx, River Styx, is that what it is?
Well, that part might be different, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah,
well, I guess no one
Hercules.
loved it as much as me. But that's fine.
that's fine.
That's fine.
You know?
I'm not mad about it.
Each to his own.
Yeah. Where did my window go? Oh, it's right here.
The wallpaper looks like the River of Souls, you know? Look at that
Little
thing.
bit. That default wallpaper.
It's not
Yeah.
default.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Wow.
You see, you chose that.
compiled it in my-
you
You went out
chose
your way.
that. Man, good find.
Looks like a jellyfish.
What?
Speaking of
Look at
good
that part right there.
finds,
Yes. Okay. Oh my God. Yes. The greatest. Good thing this is the last thing we're doing on the show.
we are talking about what
We're talking about
Gus recommended.
Mort the fucking chicken. Look
Mort
at
the
the
chicken.
community. Look at the community though. 7.1.
Yeah. IGN says painful. Community says
Yeah.
good.
I just gave it a 2.5. Fucking idiots.
I love that. Do you hate your child and wish to punish him and her? Him or her?
Oh my God.
Well, we have the perfect gift.
We'll get to that.
We're talking about 2000's Mort the
Yes.
Chicken
It's a
on
platformer.
PS1. Yeah, are you gonna? This is my game.
Go ahead, go.
Okay, yeah, it's a 3D platformer. Yeah, I taken great inspiration, I think, from Spyro the Dragon,
Yeah.
which was also on the same PS1. It, Crave, something like that. They're
No,
gone.
they published it.
and now it's gone. I actually went to www.andnow.net because at the end of the game it tells you to. It's gone. Yeah. Oh, you did too? Funny. Anyway, yeah, Mort the Chicken is about a chicken named Mort. He's a child show star. He is a chicken though, mind you. He kind of looks like a hot dog. Like his head is really elongated compared to all the other chickens. Anyway, there are invading cubes, and I'm talking about cubes as in the
geometric shape.
yes, and they invade and kidnap the chicks from the farm, and Mort, without hesitation, goes down the well to their rescue.
Yeah.
And gets sent to weird levels and has to save baby chicks. That's the objective of the game is to save the baby chicks in the level and leave.
Mort is a badass.
Mort's a fucking badass. Yeah, and so, yeah, this game is amazing. There's no flaws. The end.
Gus.
Yeah.
Do you remember how you
I do.
got this game?
All right, flashback. First grade. Me and my buddy named Spencer. I was hanging out with him, and his mom was like, "You guys want to go to GameStop?" And we were like, "Yeah." And she said she would buy each of us a game that was under $20. And so Spencer and I were looking, and I remember being overwhelmed because I was like, "Oh God, I don't know what to choose." And so I did not choose Mort the Chicken. Actually, Spencer did. I chose a shitty game called Jersey Devil. I still have it too. Truly terrible. Like even Mort the Chicken's not a good game, but I have it has a place in my heart. Jersey Devil is actually a pile of shit. Like the jump button in Jersey Devil is the triangle button. Imagine that. And it's just terrible. Mort has aged so much better. Anyway, yeah. So I chose that. He chose Mort the Chicken. Flash forward a little time more. Like a few months maybe. I hanging out again. We decide to lend each other our respective games. I end up with Mort the Chicken. He ends up with Jersey Devil. And
you're like steal.
And that is how it stayed. I forever had Mort the Chicken, and he had Jersey Devil until... I mean, he had Jersey Devil, and I didn't until I rebought it down the line. But just because I hate myself. But, yeah. So that's how I ended up with Mort the Chicken. I played it numerous times over the years.
How's Spencer doing?
Spencer's doing well. He actually used to work at the Torchies that was right by where I lived. So I last saw him like in January of this year. So
okay,
yeah.
Have you talked about Mort the Chicken at all?
You know, I don't think I've talked to him about Mort the Chicken. He's the only other person I know that's played Mort the Chicken, other than you two now, which is why I'm so glad I recommended it. Now people know what I'm talking about. Mort the Chicken. Yeah. So I don't even think he will probably remember this game.
Sterling,
Hey.
would you like to begin?
Yeah, sorry, I was busy picking my nose.
Okay.
Mort the Chicken. You asking me what I think of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
choose your words.
Yeah. Mort, let's see. That's the one. That's the one with the chicken, right? I don't really remember.
That's the good one with the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one you played, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I know.
I beat the whole thing.
I know he played it.
He saw.
I watched
Saw
him
me
play some
play
of it.
Yeah. So I thought Mort was really fun and had a really good,
Place in your heart.
Yeah, no, really good, not premise, but like kind of idea behind the mechanics. And I was like, you know what? I could collect these chicks for a while. You know, this is pretty fun. I could do this for about 2 hours, and that's exactly what I did. You know, it kind of didn't get harder, I thought.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
it's a very easy
That's
game.
the problem I had with it. And then what was it, like 10 levels, 12 levels or something? It was really quick.
Short.
That block man didn't give you trouble.
No, not at all. Oh my god. Those final bosses were hilarious.
Yeah.
Not even
They're
block
so
face.
easy.
No, Blockface was easier than Blockman.
Blockface is the easiest level in the game.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought I was doing something wrong. I'm like, this is it?
You have to hit him 3 times.
With the dice. Yeah. No, I mean, Mort was fun, and I'm glad I did it, but it almost felt like not rewarding just because of how little of a challenge it was.
Yeah. That's what I got out of this recent playthrough because I did it in 46 minutes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Wow.
you're Mort expert.
I am now.
Did you 100%?
I probably hold the speed run because I don't think any other people have.
I saw one on YouTube. It's like 23 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
We'll watch it after.
I
We'll
have
find it.
work
You could
to
beat that.
do.
You could beat that.
Yeah, I
That's-
can do
that's
that.
easy.
Mort the Chicken is a game for children.
It is. I mean, I'm not arguing.
Yes.
Hercules is a movie that's generally for younger audiences.
Dang.
Mort is very easy. No challenge at all. It's almost impossible to die. I just want to
really
try to
is.
kill
Yeah.
myself on purpose just to see what happens.
I don't think I've ever died. As
There's
long as
an
I play.
easy mode, right, in the options.
There is.
What does that do?
I just learned about it this time looking
Yeah.
at it, and
You
I
know
was
what it
like,
does?
no, I didn't try it. I was like, this game doesn't need an easy mode.
Maybe you can't die, like, actually. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I toggled it on and off, and I'm pretty sure I had it off while I played, but just to verify.
Oh, yeah.
When
Yeah.
you like go off the stage, like there's wind that keeps you flying. Okay,
Yeah.
that's easy
That's-
mode off.
That's easy mode off. Yes.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah,
So super
you
easy.
cannot fall off the edges in this game.
Yeah, maybe we've all been
it
playing it on
prevents
easy mode, and Mort the Chicken is actually hard as
Just
fuck.
hard as fuck.
And even
man.
kind of like breaks the game sometimes because like you
Oh,
can like
yes.
go around the entire map by just
Yeah,
going
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
There's like the enemies they die in one hit. And
Most
by-
of them.
Most.
There's some there,
There's
too.
some that
Oh, yeah.
take more than one.
But they
Still, yeah.
Like Blockman, he takes 3.
but there's like
Blockface.
Blockface.
most of the time these enemies which are literally just cubes just jump up and down and you just go over and peck it with your
You whip
beak
'em.
and you're dead and they're dead.
Yeah.
You whip them with your
You don't
gobble.
Peck 'em. You can't peck them with your beak.
Yes, you can.
You can,
There's
but
a peck. There's a peck button
And a
which
whip
you use
button.
to eat
Yeah.
chick feed the feed on the ground.
Or break eggs, which
Yeah.
have power-ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also like the like a head bash kind of thing, right?
Right.
you
Yeah.
whip.
You could peck blocks and it'd die also.
Oh, I guess. Oh,
Which is easier. It's easier to get hit that way.
yeah, I feel like
Because the
it
whip
would
is
be.
like it's got some distance.
You could hold the whip button and he'll keep doing it. And
Oh, that's awesome. I
It
didn't
pretty
know
much
that.
forms like a shield, so you won't be able to get hit unless you just like run into a bunch of enemies.
So
It's yeah.
Bunch of
Mort the
cubes.
Chicken is not a difficult game. It's not even easy. It's
it makes
just,
me even question why they even have like the health on the ground because like you don't even need it.
It's a very inconsequential game.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
It was one of the first games like I ever like just beat as a kid.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's beatable.
It is very beatable.
Controls
Control.
very stiff.
Yeah, I thought the
Yeah.
whole like turning was really hard
Yeah.
when you're walking. Like you're walking along, you try and like move, and you have to like turn the camera.
Well, it has
step
to-
to the left a
The
little
big
bit or
problem is
whatever.
with the camera because it's so unwieldy. And there's like an active and passive camera option also,
Yeah.
which I don't
Yeah, I
understand
didn't
what
mess
it
with that.
does.
I don't understand either.
So the camera kind of adjusts by itself, but you can also use the triggers to kind of rotate it.
Which is also very Spyro.
Yeah.
But it's just like it never goes exactly where you want it, and the platforming is very imprecise
Disagree.
also because of the combination of the jumping and turning feels very
Yeah,
like,
I
very
will agree with
abrupt.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's kind of hard to stick a landing.
or
on
like
it.
in narrow passages the camera just does not want to be your friend.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, that's like, I mean, maybe I'm just like so used to that because I grew up with these games, but that's like such PS1 like standard fare. That's nothing to me. I had no problem.
which relates to the next thing, graphics.
Dude, I love the graphics. I think the graphics.
Me
are great.
too, actually. Like,
But is it like good quality for the time, or is it like
For the
garbage
time?
for the time?
I don't even think it was garbage for the time, but
Maybe basic.
It was basic. Yeah, I wouldn't say it like was stellar, but
now it almost felt great, like playing like with these graphics. Like to me, it was like it felt nice. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I feel like I'm listening to an analog tape recorder
It's super
right now. You know what I'm saying?
colorful.
It is because it's
yeah.
for kids.
It's for kids, yeah. But
I was
mean, like,
stimulated. That's all I can say.
I'm so used to games being pretty like I guess tone like I mean not monochromatic of course, but gray
Apocalyptic
yeah,
browns
brown.
and grays.
I mean that's
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Like God of War 3.
Yeah, I mean anything that's not Nintendo practically.
Yeah.
God of War 3 had some color to it.
Yeah, like
Red.
blood.
Red, brown, and gray.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the whole reason I do like this game is totally because of nostalgia. If I played it now for the first time, I would think it was absolute trash. And I knew that going in, which is why I wanted to do it, because I thought it would be fun. But yeah, I love PS1 era graphics. They aged a lot. But I think they have a charm to them. Probably because I grew up
Yeah.
with it. So
But Mort's
yeah.
graphics, very, very cube-like.
very cubic.
You could say,
Which-
yeah.
Makes me believe, like, also with the enemies and all being cubes, that they were just, like, lazy,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
the developers.
Yeah, my friend one time said, and I've said since, that this looked like it was made in a weekend.
Yeah.
And
Which
it does.
I have a theory. I'd like to imagine that AndNow, the developer, they were commissioned to make a children's game that had to start chicken. They're like, oh, we don't want to do this. So they just, like, with actually putting the game together, they just, like, put it off at the last second. But they had, like, tons of fun with the humor and the story.
Yeah.
Because some of it is just so absurd, which is what I look forward to. I just wanted to get through the levels. I could just
So you
watch
can see
those
the
cutscenes. Which are
Cutscenes.
a lot of fun.
The cuts, at least for the first part of the game, then they start repeating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes me think they ran out of funds for that. so they probably just repeated. But
But there is a story in this game.
There is.
And it's so absurd.
it is.
you have the cubes who live in a parallel dimension led by the one Cubicles,
Mhm.
right?
Very
Yes.
Hitler-esque.
He's rainbow.
Yeah, and he thinks that in our chicken world that the chickens are stealing cubes, but they're actually hay bales. So in retaliation, he steals chicks. But at the end, he realizes, oh, the soft squishy things, or he returns the soft squishy things because he realizes that they're different kinds of cubes, and all's right in the end. Like, completely nonsensical. Also, in this universe, do humans exist?
I don't think they do.
But
It
they
seems
do
like
reference like people a couple times.
yeah, but they have chicken TV.
Fuck.
Yeah.
There's a chicken with a PhD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just chicken world.
But someone said, "What do chickens do when the farmers are away?" Doesn't mean the farmers exist.
They also made a nugget joke. That might have been an outtake.
Well, they talk about thumbs also.
thumbs.
How would they know what thumbs are?
There's a lot of chicken puns.
Yes.
Which, I mean, could be a turn off.
For some.
I gave it a pass. Yeah. This one time, I'll give it a pass.
Mort has an origin story. Remember, like the black and white flashback
Yeah.
in News Reporter. Like he gets like experimented in like a car, or was it a car or rocket? A rocket something, and like his
Something
head.
like that.
Yeah, that's why his neck is long because of that.
Yeah, you can even make it longer with one.
That's
of the
my
power-ups.
my favorite thing about this game, and why I had a fun time playing it, is because of Mort. Like Mort is like the laziest video game mascot ever, and that's why he's so awesome, because
And
he's like so bad.
And he's a chicken.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
love
it's
playing
amazing.
Chickens.
Chickens.
That pecking button. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Even though I had full health, I'll go to a feed and just peck.
Yeah, it's
everything.
Yeah.
I like pecking the eggs,
It's
cracking those eggs.
kind of therapeutic.
Yeah.
almost.
It's awesome. Like Mort. It's like he doesn't blink. Like he walks around. He doesn't even care. He's gonna go. He saves the day. He probably doesn't even know he saved the day. That's what's so great about Mort. He doesn't talk.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
that's an amazing
the
mascot.
silent protagonist, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, he's so obviously. I mean, that was a time when A, 3D platformers were big, and B, like animal mascots were big.
Like
And
Crash.
So, yeah, Crash Bandicoot being like the
Spyro.
main guy on the PS1. But yeah, Mort is just like he is just a chicken. He doesn't have any identifying traits. He doesn't have like an interesting color pattern or something. He is just a chicken with a longer head, with a long neck,
And a heart of gold.
and a
Yep.
heart of fucking gold. Yeah, he's.
I love Mort. Can he be our mascot?
amazing.
Wheelhouse mascot.
I mean, he kind of really is the reason I always return to it. Because me and Mort, we share a connection almost. I feel like Mort sometimes.
Mort's lovable in like a weird way.
Yeah, I think it's those eyes, those googly eyes.
Yeah.
They're huge.
But playing through this game, I did sort of realize that it was a sort of game where if I had played it in my youth, I could see being nostalgic for it later. Because it's colorful.
Oh yeah,
it's
this is the kind of
simple.
game I would love
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
I play a lot of computer like 3D platformer type games, like on CD-ROM type stuff. Yeah,
I could just
very much
imagine like
this
if I was in
game.
elementary school, just like every level, just like pouring through, going to every single
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
and playing it over and over, and just like memorizing how to
Yep,
do it
same.
the fastest, all that stuff.
Oh my god, look at this dumb IGN review. Presentation 5. There are a lot of FMV cutscenes between the various levels. The camera angles suck.
Dude, fuck David Zidurko.
Yeah,
Your last name doesn't even have. It only has one
December
vowel
1st,
in it.
2000.
How's that a name?
Bad frame rate, poor textures, and a whole lot of clipping.
Oh, yeah, there's a clipping.
It'll take bad pop. I'll take bad pop over this crap any day. I totally disagree. I think the music is
Yeah, the
amazing.
I love the like in that one song that repeats throughout the levels. That's my favorite. So good.
It's fucking awesome. The music actually is pretty funny though. That's all.
It is.
I find the music also very Spyro-esque in a lot of ways, or at least later Spyro. So, yeah, that's the verdict. My verdict. Fuck IGN. Andrew actually likes IGN, which is ridiculous.
I remember how I found out about them. Got that Wii bundled with Wii Sports and Twilight Princess, and got stuck in one place in the game. Had to find a guide.
And so
and-
you went to IGN.
No, that's how I found. I just googled it, and that's how I found it eventually.
Twilight Princess walked through.
And then I was like, oh, they were reviewing stuff, and I had the misconception that IGN actually made the game back in the day.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought like,
Because
oh man,
of the
and I saw
walkthrough.
like they reviewed all these other games. I'm like, man, these guys make all the games
You're
I
like
love.
11 at that point.
That's
I was
awesome.
I was a baby.
Anyway,
So
yeah, enough of Mort.
enough of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Now
Let's move on with our lives.
We are restarting guest recommendations. Next week we'll have guests on to review things with us.
Oh, so we didn't have to prepare anything for today. Okay, this whole time I've been like trying to think of something. I had something too, but I'll
Jeez.
save it.
Save it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. First guest we have. He has recommended the most things as a guest. It is your friend and mine, LJ.
Woo!
Lawrence.
Glad to have you back, man.
Yeah, he's recommending a double feature. He really wanted to recommend both, so I was like, fine. And he recommended Magic Mike and Magic Mike XXL. We have a little recommendation that I recorded with him earlier that I'll play right now. I'm here with Lawrence. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
This is, your third recommendation for the Wheelhouse?
Yeah.
Or would it be third and fourth recommendations?
Yeah, well, since I am am I the only multiple time guest on the Wheelhouse?
For some reason, I feel like there's another one, but I can't remember right now.
Okay.
So I think, I think you are. So
Well,
Congrats.
you gotta keep things spicy and special. So, this week I'm recommending a double feature.
what is it?
I'm sorry. Yes. Well, 2012's Magic Mike. Oh man, great movie. And the best movie of 2015, Magic Mike XXL, the sequel to Magic Mike.
Whoa, best movie of 2015. The original Magic Mike is not the best film of 2012.
No, 2012 had quite a few good movies. 2015, I'm not really the one to rank, but I guess the movie I'm most willing to rewatch is most definitely Magic Mike XXL. Like, I really liked Anomalisa, but
It's
I
no
got-
Magic Mike.
well, I got like a fever right after watching the movie. I don't know if it had anything to do with the actual movie, but you know,
can't separate those
it
experiences.
was definitely an emotional experience, but not the positive one I felt after watching Magic Mike XXL.
All right.
know.
So if people don't know, explain the premise of Magic Mike.
Magic Mike is about a person only referred to. Well, actually, he does have a name, but he's usually referred to as the Kid, and he's basically this one guy, college dropout. Comes back home and lives with his sister. He's sort of drifting around, doesn't know what to do, and then he meets a guy named Mike who introduces him to the world of Miami strip clubs, and oh boy, no, actually not Miami, Tampa Bay strip clubs, and gets involved, good times.
What is so good about these movies, especially XXL or XLL? XXL.
XXL.
Yeah, it's like for you to call it like the best movie that year, and for you to love the first one so much too.
Well, first of all, I think they're two different movies. Like, some sequels are pretty much like a repeat of the original. XXL, I guess you could watch that movie without needing to watch the first one and still enjoying it. I will say, I think you should watch both. The first one is, like a kind of a humanistic drama, comedy drama. Very big on great stuff. And just like helping out other humans
I like
and
great
things like
stuff.
that. I'm trying to find the words. I'm sorry. It's just about being a good guy, really. Whereas the second one, it's very much a movie made with all the criticisms of the first movie in mind. Like, one of the biggest criticisms of the first one, and I don't think it's necessarily unwarranted, but there really isn't that much stripping in the first Magic Mike.
Did you have that same criticism?
I don't think so. Like, I don't know what do you think of when you hear about the movie Magic Mike? Like,
Well,
what goes into your mind?
I know the first one was directed by Steven Soderbergh.
Yes.
I did know that it did well when it came out, like commercially.
Yes.
Right. Has Charming Potato, Channing Tatum.
Oh.
Yeah. And I know that, going into, a lot of people thought, it's just like sort of titillating, and that's like what is the selling point of the movie. But when people watched it, there was a lot of drama that people didn't expect, which made it very good.
Yeah, there's a lot of substance basically in that movie, and it's not really about the stripping. You don't really see any male nudity, which is kind of surprising.
Is it PG-13?
It's rated R.
Okay.
And it probably should be rated R. There's some R-rated type stuff going on. But yeah, I remember when it came out, and I also sort of wrote it off as like basically a term now I don't really like to use, but I just thought it was like a chick flick, and I didn't watch it. But then I really got into Steven Soderbergh. I think he's one of the best working directors right now. And so I just watched all his movies. But one of the first ones I watched was Magic Mike. Now I'm just trying to think about what compelled me to watch Magic Mike, but I really, really liked it. And yeah, so great stuff. The second, what were we talking about?
You asked me what I knew about Magic Mike.
Oh yeah, well
you.
basically Steven Soderbergh is very into like this kind of Trojan horse idea of a movie. Like,
oh yeah,
you think it's going to be about something, but it turns out to be about something else. It doesn't always work in terms of like what a general audience would like. Like some of his movies really alienated people. Like he did this one remake of a 70s Russian movie called Solaris, and I think are you familiar with like Cinema Score?
Isn't that what the audience?
Yeah,
ratings?
it's like an audience rating. It got like one of the lowest audience ratings. And basically the trailer sells it as like this action-packed sci-fi movie with George Clooney in it. Basically like Gravity, you know, and in reality it's like very slow pace and very like contemplative and whatnot. So with Magic Mike, I think people went into the movie thinking it was like, oh yeah, Channing Tatum stripping, oh yeah. And it's not quite about that. But the sequel, XXL, sort of like takes the idea of like giving the audience what they want and like making the whole entire movie about that. And I think is really clever, especially for like a mainstream kind of movie to be doing what it does. Like there's some great stuff going on in that movie.
Does Soderbergh direct that one?
No, he retired. Well, yeah, with quotation marks. He's actually making a movie right now. But yeah, he retired in 2013, but he agreed to DP. He also edited the movie, and I think he was like a producer, executive producer or something like that. So he definitely had a hand in the movie. But I don't know if you know this, but like ever since like Traffic, which was like 2001 or so, he always DPs his movies, and he usually edits them too. Yeah. So
he uses pseudonyms.
Yeah, he uses pseudonyms, and I think Magic Mike XXL and the first one too are like very much statements of what he saw himself as a filmmaker at that point in time. So I think you can. Well, it's too early to say, but I think XXL is a good indicator of why he returned to the film industry. You can see like his reasoning behind it. Like, it's directed by, I said this right, it's directed by his like usual assistant director.
No.
Yeah, that guy has been his AD since like the early 90s. So they've been working
same page.
Yeah, working together for a while. That guy has like directed maybe a movie or two, but yeah, man, he just basically gave the reins. I think they originally wanted Channing Tatum to direct the movie.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
but he was like too intimidated to. I mean, I think Channing Tatum co-wrote both of the movies, since it is. Oh yeah, I guess I should know. Like, it's somewhat based on his former life as a stripper.
Is there any hope for a Magic Mike 3? Or would you want that?
Well, I'd be very perplexed at what the... Well, I think they don't want to like do another one just for the sake of it. I think they left off on a pretty good note with the second one. It was already a pretty bizarre idea to make a sequel to Magic Mike in the first place. So I hope they don't screw the pooch. But then again, I have faith in Soderbergh. I do know they're making like a musical.
Oh wow! If there was a third film, what would they call it? Extra, extra, extra large, supersized.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah. Well, if that day comes, we'll find out, and you'll be first in line to watch it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, we'll get watching Magic Mike XXL.
Yeah. Sorry for this long explanation.
It's okay. It might not carry over in your voice, but I can tell you're very passionate about these films. Okay.
Well, I mean, they're good stuff, and I think for this recommending thing, It's always good to find like movies that you like but are also like fun to talk about. And I think we have a lot of stuff to talk about once you guys have seen them.
There's a lot of talk about when it comes to male stripping. So it's not
yeah.
something you talk about on a daily basis.
Yeah, indeed.
All right. Well, thank you, Lawrence. And I'm sure you'll be back on some other time.
Yeah, I like this.
All right.
I'm here.
Goodbye. All right. Wasn't that great, guys?
Yeah. Can't believe we listened to that whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's only like 12 minutes long.
Such interesting anecdotes he supplied.
Next, the last, so we're doing those two movies. I'll watch them and review it next week with Lawrence. And then we have one more movie. It is Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, recommended by our roommate Dan, who was on the show earlier when he lost that game show.
Lost.
That loser.
Dan.
Yeah, and we recorded his recommendation earlier, and we'll play that right now. I am here with my roommate Dan. How are you?
I'm good.
Are you sure? You don't sound like you're good.
You're creeping me out a bit.
Why? Why am I creeping you out?
No, it's good.
We're in our living room, like, talking like normal people with giant metal things in their face. Yeah.
Yeah, like I always do. What?
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, you're here to recommend something for the Wheelhouse.
Yeah.
What do you got?
so I recommend you guys watch Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. Yeah.
Oh, Jacob's also here. He's giving a resounding thumbs up. What is it about?
So, man, it is about the Flash. It's a Flash storyline, I guess. If you guys aren't familiar with the Flash, he's
He
DC
runs pretty
Comics
fast.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he runs fast. Can break the time barrier. So I guess some background is like WB and DC have a lot of animated movies they adapt
Mhm.
from like comics. So it's very close to some of the storylines they've done, and Flashpoint Paradox is super close to Flashpoint also. But I was just really bored on spring break one day, and I watched it, and about like 30 minutes in, I was just like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, this is like better than a lot of superhero movies I've seen, except for like maybe Nolan, like maybe on par with Nolan
Yeah.
movies. So like live action or comic too. I watched all of it, and it has like everything's like action, like gory. It's like has good storyline and all that stuff. Yeah, it's really. Then I was just got really into it. I was just like, man, I want to like read all these comics now, and I'll do all this.
So
stuff.
you
I did
weren't
that for
a
little
big
while.
comics guy beforehand?
No, I wasn't, and I wouldn't say this thing made me into like I wouldn't say I'm like a super comics fan
Yeah.
now, but like I appreciate the art. But yeah, after that, my friend let me borrow his the Flashpoint story like in comic, and there some scenes are cut out, but it's almost like second season of Game of Thrones versus the show. It's like
Mhm.
pretty close. Actually, I've never seen second Game of Thrones, so like strike that. But yeah, read the comic, and then there was just scene in the end of the comics when I was just like, oh, I wanted to cry. It was so sad. It was so good.
Wow.
I know.
That's kind of interesting because, with talking about movies, how in general, Marvel films,
Yeah.
like live action big superhero films, like they're killing it, especially with DC, with DC doing Batman vs. Superman. Jacob! Doing Batman vs. Superman, Suicide Squad, which do well financially, but yeah, quality-wise,
Yeah.
they're pretty panned critically.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, and I haven't seen enough to confirm it, but like DC animated
Animation,
films, they
yeah.
kill it over Marvel.
So good.
Um,
Their recent works have been okay.
yeah,
Especially like Killing Joke.
that was the most recent one, Killing Joke.
Hasn't been the killer that they
There was an
wanted to
Arkham
be,
Asylum
but
one, DC
Arkham
one
was
that's apparently
good.
really good. Yeah,
I've seen the Frank Miller one. So like Dark Knight Returns. If I said his name wrong, whoops, don't kill me. But yeah, like The Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One.
Oh, yeah,
those are
yeah.
really good ones too.
and I've read those,
Yeah.
but I haven't seen them, and I know they're great. So
Yeah, they're like almost 1-on-1 for movie and comic for those. Like even Killing Joke, except for like the first 30 minutes, it was also very close to the
Mhm.
story. So yeah, DC movies are great, like
Alright.
animated ones.
well, we'll be watching that for the show. Thank
All
you,
right.
and you might be on to review it with us. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back. Aren't you guys excited to watch Flashpoint Paradox after
Yeah,
that
I am.
resounding?
I've never
recommendation?
seen, I don't think, an animated like DC movie. I know they get a lot of good rep. So never seen any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen one from the Batman animated series from the 90s. I think I saw one of the features from that. But other than that, I haven't seen anything.
And we might have some interesting beef on the show because the one LJ thinks it's garbage.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
So
This is gonna be intense.
we'll get around to that.
Drama.
Yeah, Dan has to not like Magic Mike to make it really interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But for now, it's the end.
Aww.
And-
Finally.
Thought we were staying up all
Oh,
night.
Gus, is it past your bedtime?
Finally. No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not near my bedtime, but I do have to do
Stuff.
work. Yeah.
But what you should do first is like our Facebook page at facebook.com/wheelhousecast.
I do.
I'll pass.
You could follow us on Twitter at wheelhousecast. Do
That I'm not going to do.
you have a Twitter?
I do, but I don't use it. So.
Well, you could follow the Wheelhouse out there. You could also subscribe to our feed on iTunes, where you can also rate and review us. And you can email us at wheelhousecast@gmail.com with anything your heart desires. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Gus.
Don't
Thanks, man.
mention it.
I'm sorry, Gus, for everything.
I dubbed the Unforgiven.
That's a good movie.
Is that Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
That was actually Metallica.
Unforgiven?
They have a song called Unforgiven.
The
where they say
is that Black Album?
Yeah. Anyway, goodbye.